last 3 months, because of COVID-19, schools have been shut. I hope that these materials that we present today will be beneficial to students in their final year of secondary or high school.
Hello viewers and students, you are welcome to today's class, and in today's class we are going to be looking at the topic evolution, and under evolution we are going to be learning about the definition of evolution, the evidences of evolution, the theorists or the persons that contributed in the topic evolution, and the modern theory of evolution. And by the end of this lesson, you should be able to define evolution, list some of the evidences of evolution, and at least state one of the theorists that contributed in evolution. Evolution can be defined as the sum total of the adaptive changes that take place in the life of an organism over a very long period of time, and that made the organism to be able to survive or live comfortably in its environment. This evolution has to do with a living organism having its type existing before the present form of the living organism. Or in other words, there must be pre-existing or old form of living organism that existed before now. And these changes do take place in the structures, forms, and functions of the living organism. And in the process of evolution, it has to take many years, for instance, 1,000,000 years or more than, for this change to take place. And one of the reasons for evolution is for a living organism to be able to survive continually and comfortably in the environment in which that living organism lives. The evidence of evolution. Under the evidence of evolution, we have things like evidence from fossil records, that is the remains of any dead living organism. The second one is evidence from geographical distribution. This has to do with where a living organism lives. For instance, some in Africa, some in Asia, some in Europe, depending on the continent to which that living organism lives or dwells. Another evidence is evidence from comparative anatomy. In other words, you have to compare how living organisms looks like internally, that is anatomically. Then another evidence, which is the fourth one, is evidence from embryology. The next one is evidence from vestigial organs. The last but not least, evidence from domesticated organisms. Then some of these evidences are briefly explained here. For instance, evidence from vestigial organs has to do with those organs that organism had in the past, but today are not more there. For instance, the tail in human beings that is not seen when a human being is fully matured or grown, unlike in the animals that we have around us, that you see their tail visibly. The next one is evidence from domesticated organisms. This has to do with organisms that we live with at home, that we see them daily, and we compare them as they grow up in their lifetime. Theories of evolution. The theories of evolution are attempts to explain how evolution has taken place, and we have two such. One is that of Jean Lamarck's, and the second is the one of Charles Darwin. Jean Lamarck's theory of evolution has to do with basically the environment and the use of body parts and the disuse of body parts. Jean Lamarck believed during his time that organisms have developed and changed or have taken a new form as a result of them using some body parts of theirs and not using the other body parts. The ones that have been used have now become what? Well developed, while those that have not been used have now become what? Less developed and atrophied or useless at the end of the day. And this theory is referred to as the theory of used and disused. The second theory has to do with that of Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin believed in his theory that it is not only the environment that plays a significant role in the life of that organism, but the genetic makeup of the organism. So during our next class, we are going to continue from where we stopped today. But before then, you have an assignment to do, which is to explain the following evidences of evolution as written or shown on your screen. God bless you and goodbye till we meet during our next class.